Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick from MMA Pixels here with Tina Pettigrew, the Bantamweight Epic Champion and the California State Champion. Fresh off her victory August 24th. She got the TKO victory at the end of the first round. How does it feel, champ?
Thank you for calling me champ. Good. I feel great. I'm glad to have gotten the finish. A few days after the fight, it's almost like you're in a daze. But I feel good. Yeah, I feel great. Thanks.
This was your third victory. Is this one different than the other two?
Yeah, definitely, for a lot of reasons. Most importantly, I would say, is I got the finish, which is something that I think in my first two fights, at the end of the fight, I was like, oh, I could have finished that. It always kind of feels like that, you know. So I would say that's the most different one. Of course, this is different, which is pretty exciting. And it's really cool because at this level, I feel like you either have people who like think you're an easy fight and really want to fight you, or they're like afraid of you. But when you have the belt, everybody wants the belt. So I'm hoping that'll mean that I have more people who want to fight me, which is what I want.
Have you had opponents pull out in the past?
Have I had opponents pull out in the past? No, but I have. I've heard that I can be tough to match. So people will just not say yes.
Right.
To a fight.
But you already have a match lined up September 28th, correct?
Yes, I do.
Did you have that one signed before you won this match, or did you just sign it afterwards?
So we had verbally agreed to it before this match, and I know that the matchmaker was like, hey, fighting so close, and this is generally something that my coach and I don't do, but we noticed that the opportunities came, and I'm healthy, which is very, priority number one, and it's always the first concern. So we verbally agreed to it beforehand, but I wasn't really talking about that one before. I wasn't thinking about that one before this because I had to take care of business with this fight. So, yeah.
So you just had that victory. Have you even started thinking about your next fight yet, or are you still taking a little bit of a break?
Oh, I'm not taking a break. I'm going to the gym tomorrow because I am healthy. Yeah, I didn't get hurt in the fight, so there's no reason for me not to start shredding again on my diet, picking up where I left off with my cardio, and and it was good too that this was a 3-minute no shin guards fight, because I'm pretty sure it's the same for King of the Cage, as opposed to the camo fights in the beginning. They have you wear shin guards and they're only 2-minute rounds. So it'll be good to just continue on that momentum.
Right. You didn't like the shin guards?
I wasn't sure if I would or not until I fought without them, but I prefer no shin guards. I have extremely muscular legs, and I like to kick people with them. So no shin guards is a benefit to me. And also in grappling, it feels to me, in grappling exchanges, when you're wearing those, it feels like you're wearing pants. And there's a reason I'm not wearing pants in the cage, I just, the less the better, in my opinion.
And you've only had 3 fights. Have they all been inside a cage?
Yes. Yeah.
So we mentioned your next fight. It's September 28th, King of the Cage, full speed against Jocelyn Kaufman. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about her?
Yeah, from what I understand, Jocelyn was a softball player. She has some boxing matches and jiu-jitsu tournaments. She seems to be very happy and loves mixed martial arts, and you kind of can't ask for more in an opponent. That's really sweet. Having the experience to go against somebody who really wants to test themselves is, always great. I think it'll be good. It'll be fun. It's going to be her MMA debut. She's from, I think, Utah.
Okay. Obviously, it's for a different promotion, not Epic, but will the California state title be on the line?
Not in this one.
All right.
No, that has to be a camo state, like a California state sanctioned event. So it'll probably be something like Epic or Spar Star or some of the other ones that are camo sanctioned.
The King of the Cage will be on like a reservation.
At Viejas Casino in Alpine, California. Yeah. And it's going to be on Mav TV, which I guess is like, from what I understand, they have like car racing and stuff like that. So pretty targeted audience. It should be good. I mean, it's good exposure for sponsors.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I saw that it said over 50 million viewed.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think it's available on DirecTV and at FiOS, Verizon FiOS.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be really fun. And also, my teammate Jeff, the administrator, is going to be on that card. And so is my boyfriend Alberto. So all three of us are fighting with Coach Day Day. It's going to be a good night.
Does that help having like everybody train and trying to peak at that same time?
That's a good question. I personally lean on those two people a lot during my camps. It's definitely different. It's almost probably more difficult when they're training, but it is cool. You know, like it's a great experience. I think that I can't speak for them, but for me, all of this is about learning more about myself and what works and maybe what doesn't work, and testing new things, testing myself. So it's always a challenge. But yeah, it is cool. It's kind of a crazy thing to have a lot of teammates fight in one night. I just had that on Friday. Like there was a point where I said to someone, I was like, should I go get him to warm up? Because they were all watching my teammate fight. And it felt kind of like, okay. But they were like, it's all right. You know, so there's a lot of logistics that are involved, but you have enough people and you plan in advance, it should all be good.
What about like cornermen? Are some of those people fighting?
Yeah, yes. So Jeff is normally in my corner for all my three fights. He's been in my corner with Coach Day Day. I think we're going to get someone else. I actually literally was just going to ask him today. I'm sure it'll work out. There's a lot of good guys at Alliance East that have been really helpful to me because they're pro fighters and they know the type of stuff that I've worked on and that I need to work on, and like practically speaking for MMA fights and based on like my skill set and my potential opponent's skill set, like very easy to talk to and train with. So, you know, I'll probably have one of them in my corner too with Coach Day Day.
Right on. Do you know like the bout order? Do you know if you're fighting like first or later on in the card?
I don't know the specific one, but I do know when I spoke to Carlos, the matchmaker promoter for this, he said that they were told they have to get women on the card. So I have a feeling since we're amateur women, we have like less experience. It's amateur and pro on this card, so we'll probably be pretty early
Right.
on the which will be a first for me because my first fight I was 11th on the card. My second fight I was 9th on the card. This fight I was 9th on the card. So yeah, early.
Right. Well, that's strange. I mean, you showed me the poster for the card, and there was quite a bit of women. I think there was like 3 fights, and then Epic just had 4 women's fight.
Yep. So I think that card that I sent you was all the women's fights that there are on the card, and the rest of them are men.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, where can the fans follow you on social media?
I would say I'm most active on Instagram. I'm at Teen Bean Casserole, TEENBEEN casserole, like green bean casserole that you eat for Thanksgiving. It's just a nickname a friend gave me. I know that the spelling is wrong, but that's kind of like a gimmicky thing, I guess. I don't know. It's just something that stuck. So that's me on Instagram. I mean, I guess you can also find me on Facebook and Twitter, but I'm less active there.
Yeah. Will you be selling tickets for your fight coming up?
Yes, I am selling tickets for the fight, and I am amateur, so they're not paying me a purse, but I do get a portion from the tickets. So any questions about tickets, let me know. You can get them directly from me because I do have physical tickets this time around. It's not online. It's with me.
Right on. That's awesome. Have you dealt with that yet, the ticket sales?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I do in general for the 3. For Spar Star, they had sent me some tickets. That one was in LA too, and I think I was like, my original debut that was supposed to be in February. I got injured 2 weeks before that fight, which is like the ultimate bummer. And it wasn't just an injury; it was like something that really I couldn't fight with, so I had to pull out. And I think when I got my actual debut confirmed, which was March 31st, I was like so hesitant. I was like, what if she gets hurt? I it's not that I didn't want to sell tickets. It's just that I was like, you know what, just focus on the fight as much as you can. I wasn't going to try to stress myself out trying to fill a room in LA for that, because I was like, anything could happen. So I think I sold like 5 tickets to that. But, moving forward, I know for Epic, I've sold definitely more than 5 tickets per fight. So,
Right on.
yeah, than before.
I know you mentioned your training partners and stuff. You want to just shout out your gym and anybody, like sponsors, anybody helped you out for this training camp coming up?
Sure, yeah. One thing that I was thinking about earlier today is that I would like to thank my dad for being my unofficial t-shirt sponsor, because he has helped me buy the t-shirts in advance that people then buy from me, which has been really helpful. I have a friend who has a company called Find Fat Fish, which helps you make your first investments. His name is Cole. He's going to be on my shorts for the King of the Cage one. And of course, he's like, please make it 3rd round so I get as much airtime as possible. My mother is an artist. She has a company called pastelsbydeb.com. She does these really cool painting parties. She's going to be on my shorts too for this next one. So thank you to them. And of course, big shout out to Luke and Jeff from Alliance East, who are always so humble and really understand me and how sometimes I can overthink things and give me cool wrestling tricks and stuff. And of course, my coach, Coach Day Day, is incredible. I right now am working between Alliance East, Alliance in Chula Vista, and my coach, Coach Day Day, who has Catch 22 MMA out of Bonita Martial Arts Academy. So it can be kind of a lot to go to a lot of different places, but I do think that's a good thing, because everybody has little tricks that work. I've worked with, of course, Icky Nicky at Alliance does the no-gi there. He corners a lot of, pretty much all of the pro fighters for their grappling at Alliance, and he's helped me tremendously with my wrestling, because I don't identify as a wrestler, but, in my fights I've ended up wrestling, so that's been really helpful. And he's really helped me adapt my jiu-jitsu style to MMA. And also recently, I've only taken I think 2 classes with Emiliano Sordi, who was just on the Contender Series. Really big purple belt guy that's really, really nice. And he's taught me some really cool tricks recently that I think have stuck in my brain that are going to stay there. And of course, Catch 22 MMA, that's becoming quite the family. So thank you so much to those chicks. They know who they are, who, didn't sign up for this, but definitely helped me get ready for these fights. They're like, I'm going to get hit in the face today. Okay. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. And all of those guys at Alliance East that kicked the shit out of my face. Thanks for everything.
Is it hard to find training partners? Or do you train with the men?
Yeah, I train with the men. Yeah. I mean, I train with everybody that, everybody at every level at this point, because I am amateur, and I think that it's important to understand that you're at this level, you're going to go against sometimes people who have a lot of striking experience, sometimes people who have a lot of grappling experience, and then sometimes people who don't know a lot, but are just really scrappy. And sometimes those can be the most dangerous people, because they just windmill shit and they just fly everywhere. And I'm just whoa, cool it. So I think for me to train with people at all levels is a good thing. One exception to that is if you're an extremely large white belt guy, I likely won't be grappling with you, because you don't know what you're doing and you'll probably break my rib by accident, which has happened before. So, other than that, I think it's good for me to get a diverse set of training partners. But I do have a handful of people that are my favorites for sure. This one, the boyfriend, that's how we met. He's one of the most thoughtfully trained fighters. and also not huge, so a very good training partner, and that's how I was like, ended up liking him.
Right on. And you paint as well?
Do I paint?
Yeah.
I don't really, but my mother always says that had I practiced it, I have the talent, I have the art talent, but had I practiced it, I would have sort of cultivated it more. I focused on other things like music and gymnastics and writing and stuff like that. I think part of the reason I never really got into it is because my brother paints, and actually that's part of the reason I never got into martial arts until I was older, because he also did martial arts. Like I did gymnastics, he did taekwondo. I did music, he did art. I like vanilla, he liked chocolate. You know what I mean? We're close in age, so I kind of we were like separate. But he's actually the one that did the illustration that's on my fight shirts of me, like looking like a superhero. People are like, is she really that ripped? No, she's not that ripped. It's like, a caricature.
Right. Yeah. Like Photoshop. But
Yeah, and
yeah.
they're both extremely talented. Yeah, the stuff that they come out with is really cool.
Right. Yeah. That's a good skill to have. I know me doing this, I try to, I do a lot of YouTube trying to learn how to do different things, but.
Sorry about the noise.
No,
Yeah,
that's fine.
and it's good to have friends who are talented in different ways like that too.
All right. Well, it's cool to hear that so many people are supportive on your career. It's still fresh. You just started. You're 3-0, but you already have 2 championship belts, and look or have a next fight lined up.
Yeah, stay active. That's for sure.
Yeah. Just by chance, you any thought about turning pro, or is that too far
I
down?
have goals. I don't. It's funny when you do enough research, you learn that like with women's MMA, some people never even have an AMI fight. So part of you is like, but at the same time, I think it'll come when it comes. My pro debut, I definitely have goals that are in my brain for how many fights I want to get this year while I'm healthy. What it might look like to have a pro debut in the near future. I work a full-time job too, and I'm very committed to that and helping that business grow. So I have goals in many different parts of my life that I want to be realistic and also ambitious about. So I don't want to necessarily name a date or anything. I kind of would like my performances to speak for themselves. So hopefully I'll make an impression enough and people will understand that I am mature enough and growing enough as a fighter to want to book me. And I also, part of the reason I was so pumped about this finish is like, if people want to watch you fight, they want to see you be a savage and finish fights, I am glad that I got the experience going all 3 rounds in the other 2, but I do want people to be like, oh, what's she going to do next?
Right. Right. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, I think that once I get a lot of that, because at this fight, there were a lot of people, a lot more than the other ones that came up to me before, after, that had a lot of stuff to say.
Right on. That's good.
Very
I
nice.
mean, you are
But
the state champion. It doesn't get better, as far as amateur.
yeah, at this level, right? And that's good too, because like I said, I'm excited. They did give me conditions for potentially winning these belts, so I definitely have at least one matchup in the future, for that one.
Is there somebody already in line, or can you say or no?
Yeah, I think I'm allowed to say. I mean, I'm happy to say it. I think she's injured now, but Kiara Ramos is the girl that they wanted to fight for this belt originally, and I guess she was injured, so they ended up offering the fight to the other 135-pound bout that was on the card, which was us. So they said within 6 months, defend your belt against Kiara Ramos, and then you can fight for it. And I was like, talked to my coach about it, and we're like, yeah, hell yeah, of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've seen her performances. She's quite the striker. She actually fought for the 145 belt against Serena Larigo on my debut at Sparstar. Yeah, so I've seen her before.
Right on. Well, I appreciate your time. September 28th, King of the Cage, full speed.
That's
Tina
right.
Pettigrew, this California state champion and epic bantamweight champion. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you so much. It was nice to chat with you.